All right then. Well,
Hey,
discussion time begins, sir.
I like talking about movies.
Yeah, ain't that fun?
Movie
All
talking
right.
is fun. Oh, fudge.
Don't swear. I have
Oh.
to censor that out now.
No fudge.
Those guys will do anything for publicity.
Oh, for a delicious fresh.
It's a me, Mario. Oh no, you screwed everything up. How dare you?
Hello,
It's a me, Mario. We just saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. Well, I have to clarify. The Super Mario Brothers movie is the movie from 2023. What we watched was just called Super Mario Brothers. Not to be
movie.
confused with the video game called Super Mario Brothers, but Super Mario Brothers, the movie, but not Super Mario Brothers, the movie, the new movie that came
Super
out.
Mario
We saw
Brothers.
Super Mario
Super Mario Brothers, the movie from 1993.
Yes,
Okay, look, how many Marios are there between the two of you?
we did. We saw that. We've seen it multiple times before. You just saw it in HD for the first time, and boy, oh boy, wasn't that something, hey?
I could see every pore on Bob
I mean,
Hoskins'
I
face.
gotta say, this is a very nice Australian Blu-ray. This is not product placement as usual. We're non-profit organization. We don't do brand deals, but I just wanted to talk about how great this Blu-ray is. Specifically because Disney has still not done this in America yet, but a studio named Umbrella Entertainment managed to pick up a license for Australia, and it's region free, so I bought it. And it's shocking that for a movie that is of this cult status and not well remembered, they gave it like a Criterion treatment with like all these like video essays on it in the bonus features, and then like a very nice like artwork slipcase with like them like the old school artwork, but like the designs they have in the movie of Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
Can I just say, give me the outer
Yeah.
shell? Can
What
I
do you
just
think
say, I
about
really
that?
wish that they would add a little more scale to the, like scaly to the artwork. Okay, so like in the movie, they're like a deep green with like white highlights around the
some
mouth.
of them are more brownish.
This just looks like this just makes this look like that's Koopa.
Maybe,
know?
yeah.
This
yeah.
just just be like, oh, there's Koopa, and then you watch the actual movie and it's just Dennis Hopper.
Yes. But we had the privilege of seeing that in HD, which was a lovely, lovely treat.
It's a me.
It's a me, Mario.
Hello, Mario.
Well, anyway, so I brought you onto this one because you're a really big Mario fan. Unfortunately, our good pal Dan, who's also a Mario fan, couldn't make it for this one.
I thought you were about to hit me with, you're a big Mario fan, unfortunately, you're boring.
I felt like Dan is like probably the biggest Mario fan I know. But
Dan's a Dan, and I love Dan.
how did you discover Mario growing up as a kid? Were you a big Mario fan?
So, at the beginning of life, you were a fetus, and then Mario.
Mario happened.
I'm not even kidding. I was born, and then Mario.
I mean, I remember my first video game console was a GameCube, which I first discovered because I knew a friend who had a GameCube, and we were playing like Mario Kart Double Dash. That was like my first exposure. And eventually I slowly played all the Mario games, especially like, the classic ones, which, Mario when Nintendo Entertainment System came out back in the mid-'80s. We briefly touched upon video games in part 1 of our 90s action retrospective. This is part 2. We're going to go more into video games. Last time we were talking about like toys in the 80s. Now we're talking about like video games in the 80s going into the 90s.
Last time we talked about toys from the 80s, now it's gaming.
Yeah, Nintendo revolutionizing the whole gaming landscape with the Nintendo Entertainment System, reviving it essentially from a collapse, basically.
They gaslit you, by the way. They were like, this isn't a game console, it's a toy. See, look at the robot.
See, look
And then they got rid of the robot. Then they got rid of the robot like almost
No
immediately.
one liked the robot. The games were what was people liked about them because they were
liked
good
the
quality
robot.
games. They liked.
Why did every like gaming YouTuber in the 2000s make Rob like an evil robot murderer?
Because he just looks creepy. I don't know.
He doesn't look creepy. He's adorable.
I guess it depends on how you look at it. But anyways, so Mario, the real savior of video games, not that stupid robot. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you really have to like kind of think to yourself like, what were they thinking? Not in the fact that it's a flawed design. It's a great game. I think everybody knows. If you're not like a big Mario fan, you know how impactful Super Mario Brothers is, and that it's like a beloved classic of a game in the gaming genre.
Yeah.
But it's like you really think about like what you're doing, and it's just like you're in like this little fantasy world. You're a plumber allegedly, as what is it? The manual that says that. You turn on the game. Video games back then, it's like there was no story. It's just game happened. You played it. Any story you had to like read a manual. So it's like you just turn it on. You're just some guy in a hat. You're just jumping on like these little mushroom creatures, and you're like punching bricks and getting coins out of them for some reason. And there's like a dragon that kidnapped a woman, and these people with mushroom heads, and it's like you eat mushrooms to grow bigger or get flowers to shoot fire. It's like it doesn't make any sense. There's like no logic behind it really. It's like
Japanese.
Well, the Japanese are known for quite a lot of weird stuff.
This feels like it would have done well in Japan. I don't know why I just get that vibe from this scene.
I think it did.
This was the first video game movie. That should be said straight off the bat. The first one was Mario, and so I looked a little bit into the production history of this movie. Because this was always a very, very troubled production. It's like infamously bad. Everything that happened. It all started with a guy from Leitmotiv who wanted to make a video game, a producer. Normally I would try and name names here. I'm not going to do it because there's too many names and too many craziness going on behind the scenes here, but I'll probably have text on the screen and images of who and what I'm referring to. This producer from Leitmotiv, he was like, I'm going to make a video game movie, okay? Nintendo is very hot right now with their Mario. He gets into an interview with who was the president? Hiroshi Yamauchi.
I'm pretty sure it's Hiroshi Yamauchi.
Gets into an interview with Hiroshi Yamauchi, and things go well. Yamauchi, he's like, well, why should I give it to you? You're like, there are bigger studios out there who would want the Mario property. And the guy was just like, well, A, we're smaller, you can have more control. B, they didn't come to you first, I did. And Yamauchi, being Yamauchi, was like, well, I like this guy's spirit, you got it.
I like this guy's vibe. I don't think this movie will have a troubled production with him in charge.
That was the interesting thing, too, is you think about like Nintendo and how overly protective they are with like all their stuff, essentially.
They were so not protective in the 90s or even the 80s. They were so much more willing to just throw their stuff out at other random projects and properties.
Just to invite us over for a picnic, eh, Luigi? I hope she made lots of spaghetti.
Nowadays, it's like you have to make sure, oh, well, they have complete control over the Lego thing. They were like, well, we'll do Mario Lego, but it's got to be something different. It can't just be Lego. So they had to like make an interactive thing where like you make sound effects as you jump on like little things with the Mario figure.
Yeah,
or
when you
whatever.
turn
It's
off
like,
the Mario figure, his eyes go black.
if they do Nintendo collaborations with other games, like like Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch had Legend of Zelda skin content in it or whatever. I want to say Rocket League on Nintendo Switch had like some Mario and Metroid cars. But you could only access that stuff on the Nintendo versions. Like, none of this stuff would ever... Like, you don't see Nintendo stuff in, like, Fortnite, which is constantly making, like, these collaborative license deals.
They were going to do
properties.
Samus, but Nintendo said that Samus would only be available on their console.
Right, and they want it to be fully cross-compatible across all systems because Fortnite's a big online game and whatnot with a whole bunch of, like, users and whatnot across all kinds of things. So... Basically, Leitmotiv starts working on this Super Mario Brothers movie. Eventually, it gets to the point where even Disney gets involved because they're like, hey, we want a piece of this production. We want to distribute this and whatnot.
You really want a piece of that pie, pal?
Well, and we'll get back to that later. So then it comes to the point where like they get people to write the script for this movie, and it keeps changing over the course of time. There's like multiple different scripts, so that's another reason why I'm not going to be able to name names. But the first script, they wanted to do kind of like some like fantasy thing of like they get thrust into like a fantasy world and have to like do a quest. This was like the first two scripts were more fantasy oriented of like a Wizard of Oz type thing, essentially, where it's like this epic quest to go save the princess in like this fun little whimsical fantasy land, essentially. One of them specifically was meant to be more of like satirizing like fairy tale genre tropes and stuff. To which the guy quoted as saying they basically came up with the idea for Shrek before Shrek happened.
Mario
that's a fun
Shrek, I
idea.
couldn't even imagine just like Mario coming out of the bathroom, somebody.
My thoughts on this movie in general are like, I like it for what it is. There's a lot to appreciate about it, even though it's not maybe the best movie out there. But it's like, I always hear these other ideas they had, and I'm just like, I kind of wish we got those instead, because that just could have been fun.
I don't know. I think the movie we got was pretty.
I mean, maybe. I think there wasn't too much fantasy stuff during like,
it's
the
more...
90s, was there?
No, but
It always felt like it was more sci-fi, gritty, grounded, which is what happened here. Is eventually the leitmotif guy sort of thought to himself, oh, gee, you know what I'm really thinking of? Max Headroom, which that's like some character who was big at the time. I don't know if it was like a music video or like a short film or something, but it was like this weird character with like sort of like a ruffly hairstyle. I mean, you can see where that led to. And he was like sort of like animated, like digital AI thing.
Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television.
You know, there was like the famous hacking incident on like some television network. I forget which one it was, but it was like during like a football game, like this guy like interrupted the airwaves wearing like a mask of this thing and like a trippy background trying to imitate the video or something. It was a famous thing. Not too many people know about it now. I barely know about it, and I didn't think to research it because I didn't care. We're talking about Mario, so I figured we'll move on to... So
I didn't think to research it, so I didn't care.
The people who did this thing were two husband and wife directors. It was Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel. They are the final directors and writers we got for this movie. And they had like an idea for like some sort of like a political movie about like a dictatorship government that some people try to overthrow, essentially, something more commentative. And that eventually got warped into dinosaurs somehow. Probably that was them trying to put Mario influence. It's like people always say that this movie feels nothing like the source material, but it's like you really do have to like, I feel, think about what was the source material at the time.
The source material was fat plumber boy runs through some quirky spaces and then saves a princess from a turtle.
Well, I mean, you have to you got to think about it even more so though. It's like just looking again at the video games, it's like all the story and stuff is like, I mean, today you have like the Mario universe. It's like vast and rich all over and whatnot.
We got like, Donkey Kong.
There's all these memorable characters and stuff. You got Mario and Luigi, Donkey Kong.
The Wario's.
You got Wario,
You got the
Yoshi.
Waluigi's.
There's like a whole vast mythos essentially. You got like stuff like Mario Galaxy, which there's a new Mario movie coming out that's basing itself off of Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy, the video game, has like a whole story to it, you know, with like an opening cutscene and whatnot. You didn't have that in video games. It was the game would just start up and you'd play it, and you know, it's like there were like, I want to say, so this was 93. So what were the Mario games that were out at the time? It was the original.
You had Mario 1, 2, 3,
1, 2, and 3 on the
and
NES.
World, and I'm pretty sure that's it.
World was on the Super Nintendo. You also had in between some of those. You had the Game Boy games like Land and Land 2.
That was it.
That was it. Land 2 is pretty recent, so I assume that probably didn't. That was Super Mario Land 2, I think, was the most recent one, but that probably didn't have much of an impact.
I'm also pretty sure
anything.
that Mario World 2 hadn't even come out yet.
Mario World, that's where Yoshi was introduced, and Yoshi's a dinosaur. There was like dinosaurs on the island. I think, is it called Dinosaur Island, Yoshi's Island? Or is it like...
It's literally called Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island.
In Mario World, it's called Dinosaur. It's called Dinosaur Island.
Dinosaur Island. So like dinosaurs clearly were a big influence. There was a cartoon show that had like cavemen in it or whatever that was also based on Mario World. I assume that's where the whole...
Bunga Bunga.
I assume that's where the whole dinosaur influence came from.
Hey, Mario, look what I made!
It's a stone, Luigi. You didn't make it.
But dinosaurs were also just big and popular in the 90s, so
This
I
is
guess
also
that's
like
one
a
way to
month
go
or
with
two
it.
before Jurassic Park.
That's true too.
I just realized Peach doesn't exist in this movie.
People are always questioning, why is Daisy the princess in this? It's not Peach, which she wasn't called Peach at the time. She was called Princess Toadstool.
That's probably why they chose Daisy, by the way.
No, I have a better theory, which makes more sense the more I think about it. This is
Okay.
my theory. No one else has talked about this. I might be the first person to have this thought.
This man has an original thought,
So-
gamers.
Basically, so again, Princess Toadstool, right? That was what she was referred to. She was Peach in Japan, but that was only really in Japan. They didn't bring that over till Super Mario 64, where she redresses herself as Princess Toadstool Peach, nickname, which eventually Princess Peach just ended up sticking from there onward. Now, again, this is like all pixel art, these games, like, because that's just what games look like. They were pixels put together to make what looked like little characters and stuff. You had, in Super Mario Land in 1989, you had the introduction of Princess Daisy, which that game takes place in an entirely different kingdom. It's a weird game. I never really liked that one that much. I always thought it was... Listen, it's not as good as the other Mario games. Let's be real right now. You know that's true, right? You know that's true. Don't even mess with me now.
Tisk J.
So, you had Daisy, right? She's the princess in that one. She's the princess of Sarhasa Land?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
The desert.
Some desert area. Now, I'm just going to be real with you. That's the only one where, rather than referred to as the princess or the princess is in another castle,
They
that's
directly
the only
call
one
her Daisy.
in the game where they directly call her Daisy. Now, I'm just going to go out on a limb and suggest that based on what limited graphics we had at the time, I don't think people realized that there were two separate princesses. I think they just assumed there was one princess and her name was Daisy.
Best character, by the way.
I guess we can talk about the actual movie now and what we got. So most of the movie makes sense when you really think about it. Like they're plumbers in the instruction manual. So they're literally plumbers in the movie. They do plumbing stuff. The movie stars them. They're introduced as these plumbers who are down on their luck. They're not getting much work.
The only thing miraculous I know is that we're still eating. Wow, we're going broke.
We ain't going broke, Mario. We're already there.
Fun fact about plumbers, they always have their plumber all hanging up on the wall and
They
everything.
definitely don't.
To really emphasize that they're plumbers.
They've got like degrees and stuff on the wall. What is all that for? They're plumbers.
They're trying to keep the rent going or whatever. I don't know if they... Is
So
it ever
are we
established? Do they have an apartment or a house?
They have an apartment.
Okay, so they got to keep the rent going.
And it's really
they're
funny that
struggling.
we're talking about this movie, but like out of context, it sounds like we're also talking about the new movie.
Well, we'll talk about that in a
That's
moment.
another thing I want to point
We'll-
out is
we'll
how
get-
many cues the new movie takes from the old one.
We'll get to the new movie. You can lead that discussion in a moment. Everything seems like ideas that a general person would take of like, well, how do we do a Mario movie? Well, we got to show the Mario brothers. We'll make them relatable. We'll make them, they're down on their luck. They're trying to make it through.
They're blue collar workers.
Right. And then you've got, on the opposite end, you've got King Koopa, who's Bowser in the U.S. He was Koopa in Japan, which I assume is why they call him that here.
We never called him Bowser until Mario 64.
Did we call him? I think he was always Bowser in the U.S., wasn't he?
No, he was
Are you
always Koopa.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
I don't
Well, I know-
don't like that you don't believe me because I'm right.
I know there were the little turtle enemies. Those are the Koopa Troopas
He was literally always called King Koopa.
because they follow Koopa.
Up until, I'm pretty sure, Mario 64, they were calling him King Koopa. Even the cartoons were like always like, Koopa! It's Koopa!
Oh, were they?
Put the pedal to the metal, Mauser.
Aye, aye, Darth Koopa, sir.
And I won't stand for it. It's revolting.
It's Redcoat Koopa, leader of the Koopish army.
Bowser sounded like a scraunchy cigarette smoker.
Maybe.
My name is Koopa.
So we got King Koopa. It's Dennis Hopper.
Where is it?
The plumbers took it. Plumber alert.
And you know, it's like in the games, it's always like, I'm gonna take over the Mushroom Kingdom and I'm gonna kidnap the princess. He does exactly that here.
Exiled here after the meteorite struck, while mammals roam free in the other dimension. Free in the
I
other
remember the first time I saw this, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, how did this happen? Who decided that Bowser was just a normal man?
He kidnaps the princess.
Instead of doing that with a funny army and floating airships, he does it the funny way where he's basically just Hitler.
Now, where this movie starts to get really weird, and I think people get lost in it, really, is just the whole like cyberpunk aesthetic they went with, where everything is just like electricity and sparks, and it's all grungy and grotesque, very 90s.
It's
vibe.
absolute
It's
Mario
like,
Brothers.
You know that Absolute Batman comic or something? That's what this is. This is Absolute Mario.
Absolute Mario.
This is the
be a thing.
This is the nightmare fuel Goomba.
Absolute. That was something I coined as we were watching it. It reminds us of the Absolute Batman comics, where all of Batman's villains just look like these weird demons or whatever. You get like the Goombas. Instead of like these tiny little mushroom creatures that are like bop bop bop, like they all like look.
Now they're giant lizard men that go.
Giant
plop,
lizard
plop,
men
plop.
with tiny pinpoint heads, but like really grotesque, like fangs and stuff, and like they're very realistic too.
They
the
look-
puppetry.
Here's the thing.
Very good puppetry. Very realistic. Like they got scaling detail, and like the eyes are reflective, and they look like naturalistic eyes. But again, like the heads are so tiny, it's creepy and unsettling.
That's why.
The thing with the directors of this movie, they I think they said in interviews like they were more inspired by like Tim Burton rather than, they didn't care to do the whole like lighthearted fantasy vibe. They were more into like, because that was just the aesthetic at the time. Was, we talked about, you know, Ninja Turtles, it's like a dark grungy comic book adaptation brought to the big screen, same as Batman by Tim Burton. A couple years, or the year prior to Ninja Turtles, 1989.
They really wanted to have it be like dark and gritty.
They wanted it to go in that route. Nintendo was fine with it going more dark and gritty. They were like, okay, yeah, why not? It probably won't affect the games much. Sure, let's go for dark and gritty. They were more in favor of that.
So instead of Wahoo, it's Wahoo.
And that caused conflict because then Disney jumped in and they were getting word of like stuff that was going on in production. They were like, I don't know if we want this. So then that's where they put Hollywood Pictures in as the logo rather than, you know.
They don't want it to be. So instead of like being like, oh, we're not directly associated with it, we're just going to throw one of our subsidiaries.
For those who don't know, Disney has a bunch of subsidiary companies, or they did. They don't have too many anymore. And to be honest, at this point, they're not even really hiding it with like Marvel. They've got like the Defenders saga and Deadpool and all that stuff. That's all on Disney Plus, just slapped under the Marvel brand, which is a core brand of Disney now. But like back in the day, you had stuff like, there was Hollywood Pictures. The more famous one would be Touchstone Pictures, which is the production company that did Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
The best
other more adult, not really family branded movies like Tim Burton's Ed Wood, Christopher Nolan's The Prestige. You got movies like Dead Poets Society. You know, those are all Touchstone productions, which is Disney, but without that branding, essentially.
It's kind of like Pepsi and Coke having multiple different drinks.
Sort of, basically. It's a little like that. It's
just multiple different names, but it's all under the same company.
You've all been lied to, is the point I'm trying to make.
Big Disney wants you to not know that the Mario movie was produced by them. Don't let them gaslight you.
This production was all troubled, where like they kept rewriting the script, changing it, where there's like, do we want to make it more family friendly? Do we want to lean more into the adults? I want to say, in the original Annabelle and Jankel version, there were stuff in the script where the Mario Brothers, they don't get their iconic outfits. That's just not a thing. We're very much going like the Zack Snyder route with Mario here or whatever, where it's like
Super Mario Brothers as directed as Zack Snyder.
The final fight scene was going to feel more like an 80s action movie type thing, where like they're fighting on the Brooklyn Bridge, and then Mario violently like shoves the bomb down Koopa's throat, pushes him off the Brooklyn Bridge, after the universe merged, and then like he just explodes in the water or whatever.
Not Mario being like, eat this Koopa, and then he kicks him off the thing, and then Dennis Hopper's like, falling down the
And it's like, oh gosh, that would be kind of violent. But I think they tried to find a happy middle ground, which I like to say worked to appealing to everyone, but nobody liked this movie really at the time, and it didn't do very well. So you get like a quirky, fun little adventure in like this dark dystopian society that's like crumbling all around. Essentially, it's very bizarre.
See, the funny thing is about this whole dystopian society is it's not even just like dark and gloomy. Literally, like car accidents happen every 3 seconds for no apparent reason. Like constant car accidents. Every vehicle you see in that universe is dented in some way. And I think it's like the main chase scene with the police cars, literally you saw like a station wagon just fly out for no reason, and the camera highlights it.
It feels like, you know, a city that's really lost itself. Like there is no direction anymore. Koopa does not know how to lead a city. Like they're drowning
That sounds
from
familiar.
lack of resource. Oh boy, gee, there's nothing like that in real life.
I don't wanna experience Koopa's dissidence. Do you understand?
Ain't got no water anywhere. Food's bad. Close the air. Got no resources. In a great big stupor. All because of the evil King Koopa.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're like out of resources now,
So basically, like they're surrounded by nothing but desert. So they already have very little finite resources to begin with.
Right.
But, with Koopa taking lead, and because he's a fascist dictator, they don't ever actually have proper organization. He's just run this already dying city further into the ground. He's basically made it a lawless Gestapo where the police will just take you off the streets because you said his name in an insulting way.
Right, and so the plot of the movie is he tries to kidnap Daisy, who her mother, back before this whole war happened or whatever, 20 years prior or something, brought her over to the other... We gotta explain the dimension stuff. Hang on.
All right.
A long time ago, the Earth was ruled by dinosaurs.
I want to say this is Dan Castellaneta, by the way, doing this narration.
Into intelligent, vicious, aggressive beings, just like us.
You know, like the voice of Homer Simpson.
We got all right, fellas. What we have here is a movie. Tell me if you've heard this before. The Mario brothers are from Brooklyn. They are plumbers. They go off to a job, and then they have to fix a problem in the sewers, right, with water, because that's how plumbing works. And while they're doing this, they discover a means to get to an alternate dimension.
Now, this dimension is explained in the intro of the movie as when the meteorite struck the Earth that killed all the dinosaurs, it didn't actually kill them, but somehow it created another dimension where there's gonna be like text on the screen that just says
the meteor essentially creates a pocket universe that traps the dinosaurs onto this desert planet, essentially. And they somehow evolve from dinosaurs to identical looking humans, but they're actually lizard people. And there's like this one chip of that meteorite that is separated from the rest of the meteor.
And
okay?
if you fix the meteor by putting the broken piece of the meteor in it, you can merge the dimensions. So then Koopa will have control over all of the Earth's resources. He'll finally have access to fossil fuels.
So you want... so he'll finally have access to the decayed corpses of his ancestors, as one would want.
As power.
Yeah, as a fuel source. But the funny thing is that you could probably describe this movie as like that episode of Jimmy Neutron when he creates two separate Earths. That's basically what happened.
When was that? Which one was that?
It was the one where the other Earth is like all evil Jimmy Neutron and all that.
Oh, the evil Jimmy.
So
I don't want any trouble.
Well, you got trouble, you doughy-eyed moke. Your mind shrimp dip.
So basically, the meteorite created two separate Earths. One is just a desert, the other one is our planet. And the whole point is that Daisy, being of royal descent, because, you know, monarchy, she can put the rock back in and withstand the backlash of the forces, because you literally watch somebody die in the movie. I forgot her name
Now
already.
remember, residents, this will all be on the test later.
Yes, it will. Take notes or perish.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this really does come across as like someone's attempt at doing like a visual representation of the lizard people are secretly controlling the government or something, where you just have,
Well, I mean, like,
you literally have like an alternate dimension of lizard people trying to come over and rule over everything, essentially, like, you know.
And the way they implement the fungus, you know, the mushrooms,
Right.
the power of mushrooms
Right,
from the
yeah.
games, is they don't you know, have little power up mushrooms like in the new movie where Mario eats one, he gets bigger, you know, like in the games. They have just yellow, gross booger fungus all around the entire city, and it's established that it is the king of this world, right? Daisy's dad. And he was de-evolved, which is a machine that Koopa has, by the way, to turn people into little lizard people.
Simon, de-evolve him now.
More so than before. And that fungus is going around helping the Mario Brothers, and Luigi, being the plucky, relatable kid hero that he's supposed to be in this movie for some reason.
Look at the fungus. It's giving us all these free things.
Mario, you got trust the fungus, Mario.
I don't know where the fungus is getting all this stuff. Like, are bombs like a war product or something? Are those like war manufactured? What are
they
those?
don't establish how these like weapons of mass
Why is it a
destruction
little
are
wind-up
established.
toy that you put
Don't-
on the ground?
It's because in the games
Because
he's
in
a
the
little
game,
guy.
That's the only thing that's like game accurate in the entire movie.
No,
though.
the bullet bill looks like a bullet bill.
But it's not used as a bullet bill. It's used as a cartridge for the bouncers.
Put in a cartridge, click your heels together.
Also, they said put in a cartridge, and I'm pretty sure they shoved in Game Boy cartridges.
No, you know what they are? We'll see them later. So that's my interpretation. This is like predating like Batman Begins or something, where it's like the whole point of Batman Begins and Christopher Nolan was like, oh, I'm gonna take all these comic book elements and make them fit in the real world in a realistic sense, where it's like,
It's called memory cloth. Regularly flexible. But put a current through it.
During combat, 2 of these would jump over a river towing cables.
they're just trying to think of like, okay, oh, well, they jump high. That's because they use these super boots that they put bullet bill cartridges into to give them like an explosive.
I mean, it was
jump of
either
some
that
sort.
or they had. I think what would have been more clever is instead of the little flamethrower guns, which are probably a.
That's the
reference
to the
fire
fireball.
flower.
They're flamethrower, even though it's the enemies using them, not
Well, I just
Mario.
realized the flamethrower guns. They look like the tip of it looks like a flower. If
Does
you really
it?
like, if
Maybe.
if you take off your eyes and squint hard enough.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
But yeah, no, those are the
You've got
fire
that.
flowers.
You've got-
I would have been more clever if they had a separate bazooka gun that shot the bullet bills.
So yeah, what he was establishing earlier is like, you know, the realistic interpretation of a Mushroom Kingdom. Instead of just a fun little happy mushroom, like Smurf looking Mushroom Kingdom with all these little mushroom people, it's just literally just fungus decay everywhere. It's disgusting and grody.
Toad is a music protester who immediately gets kidnapped by the establishment and then turned into a mindless slave.
His hair is like shaved into what looks like a little fun little mushroom pattern, like in the games or something.
What's even funnier is when he de-evolves, that pattern stays.
Yeah, he's like the only one with like personality. He's got like
He's
they give him a little harmonica for no reason at all. This movie has a very wonderful cast to it, where it's like, again, like this was supposed to be a big movie, so they got a bunch of like A-list actors for this early on who like all read like some of the original scripts and were like, hey, this sounds great. You know, you got Bob Hoskins as Mario, who was famous from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he was in a bunch of other stuff before and after this. So, you know, he's a big actor. And Roger Rabbit is probably where they cast him based on his Brooklyn accent that he does in that movie. Originally, they were also considering like Danny DeVito in the role as Mario.
Could you hold on? Could you imagine it's Danny DeVito and Bob Hoskins, but Danny DeVito is small Mario, and then he eats a mushroom and turns into Bob Hoskins?
That would have been great.
But they keep the same like Brooklyn inflections. I'm gonna break every bone in his body.
And I don't know. I've heard mixed things about this. I don't know which source is correct. I've heard in one version he was Luigi, in another version he was Mario, and they were going to skew younger with him. Tom Hanks was considered as either Mario or Luigi at one point for this movie. They did not go with him because Tom Hanks was on a down streak at the time. And of course, the ironic part is this is just before he won Oscar for Best Picture a year later with, what was the movie? The where he is playing the not smart person.
Damn, that really narrowed it down.
Forrest Gump. He got the Oscar Best Actor in Forrest Gump, and then he became massive superstar Tom Hanks after that.
What was that one movie where he played a literal idiot? What was it?
I don't remember what it was called. I'm sorry. I love that movie. So we got John Leguizamo as Luigi, who
is buff and sexy.
He sure is.
But he isn't as sexy as Bob Hoskins, I'm sorry.
He was not very well known at the time of this movie, but miraculously, he somehow had a career after this. He was in a lot of Baz Luhrmann films. He was Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet, directed by Baz Luhrmann, the very bizarre movie if you've ever seen that interpretation.
Turn thee Benvolio, and look upon thy death.
Yeah, where it's the same script, but everyone has guns, and it's set in a modern time.
Not a bad idea, but
it
boy,
feels
oh boy.
Can I just say it feels weird to hear people that are basically gangsters talking with a robust vocabulary?
Baz Luhrmann feels like...
the guns say swords.
Feels like the ADHD of directors, where everything he does is super unfocused and quick-paced. Samantha Mathis played Daisy. I don't know much about her career after this. The one thing I remember her for is she was in American Psycho as a very minor character. She wasn't super important to the plot. Although then again, most of that movie just revolves around Christian Bale being wacky and goofy.
In '87, Huey released this, 4, their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square.
Fiona Shaw, who plays Lena, which is Bowser's little companion, she was famously Aunt Petunia in the Harry Potter series. And more recently, she played the character of Marva Andor in Andor, the Star Wars series that was really good. Have you seen Andor? That's a great show.
No, I have not.
How dare you?
What do you want from me?
Go watch it. It's great.
I heard that. I put on my best coat and I walked across the square with a smile on my face.
And of course, Dennis Hopper is in the movie. He's like, big star, with Apocalypse Now, Blue Velvet. My favorite one is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, where he's just hamming it up the entire time.
I don't care who sent you. I'm the Lord of the Harvest.
And then just the year after this movie, he did Speed, where he's just a delightful, crazed villain in everything he's in. The only other one, aside from Dennis Hopper, that I know is the guy who plays Iggy, one of Koopa's two, partner characters or whatever, or underlings. The guy who plays Iggy was a killer in one of the Columbo episodes.
Some underpaid policeman is going to arrest me.
He's like a film director. And then that's a fun episode because Columbo does a bunch of movie things in that one. A good handful of big actors who are well known in this movie.
Yeah.
And now this is where the production started going awry, where eventually they all slowly realized we're in a nightmare situation where, as I already mentioned, there was already concerns about where the tone was going with the movie among Disney and other certain people involved. The script kept getting rewrites over and over during the pre-production of this, and even during the production, to the point where we made a comment in this saying where it felt like they were improving lines at points, and it's they probably were because they didn't know what was happening anymore.
The characters that played Spike and Iggy, genuinely best characters in the whole movie.
They are great. They are very delightful to watch. They give good performances, and they.
Okay.
I like the way they bounce off of each other with their.
I think my top 5 favorite characters: Mario, Spike, Iggy, Dennis Hopper, Yoshi.
Dennis Hopper. You don't even call him Koopa.
Why do I call him Koopa? He's just
Dennis Hopper doing
Dennis
his
Hopper
thing.
doesn't play characters. He's just himself on set.
That's true.
Give it up! You're out of options!
You know the bucket on the chains in the movie that Koopa ends up inside of?
Yes.
Is that a reference to Mario World, where he's inside the little floaty thing?
I refuse to believe that. But
I think it is.
Maybe. I don't know. It might be.
Because he's in that thing as the dinosaur after the fact.
I don't know.
Spoiler alert, Koopa becomes a giant T-Rex and he dies.
I want to say Fiona Shaw in an interview said, and I think this was like an interview when it was happening, because the way she is quoted at least, is she's like, when I first read the script, it was really witty and charming, and I quite liked it. Now they're talking about me doing a mud bath with worms with Dennis Hopper. And it's like, oh boy, everyone feels like they were scammed horribly with this movie who was involved with it.
Do you what I think is really funny is Dennis Hopper clearly didn't care.
No,
because he was
probably
giving
not.
Man was giving 120% the whole film, and honestly, his energy was probably the only reason why everyone else was giving at least some amount of effort.
Bob Hoskins was very vocal on his displeasure with this movie. It was the worst thing he ever did in his career, according to him.
I didn't even know it was a game. It was my kids that told me, and I saw this thing jumping up and down. I thought, I used to play King Lear.
I forget what their nicknames were. He had like insults for those people. Like that's how bad it was, where he was just like, I'm referring to these people as these.
I'm just gonna call that one an idiot.
these very obnoxious and very uncalled for names. Like John Leguizamo, there's a story where he's driving the van to the dig site and stuff. You know, he's like, Mario, I know a shortcut. Trust me, Mario. And when they were shooting at one point, there's a scene where they're opening the doors and closing them, close it shut. Apparently John Leguizamo, he just slammed the van door right on Bob Hoskins' hand.
And the door came flying out, smashed his poor little Bob Hoskins' fingers, and he went into some Cockney Tourette's thing. Oh, bloody geezer, me coals and coke.
And you can see it in some scenes. He's got like a little cast that's like painted like a pinkish flesh color, or like a blue color to match his sleeve in some points of the movie. Now, that was not the only injury. Allegedly, and this has two differing opinions, there was an extra in lizard-esque costume who was... there are two sides of the story. There's John Leguizamo telling a story. John Leguizamo talks about this movie a lot, by the way. He's talked about it so many times over the years, because I think he's just looking for attention at this point.
Well, I mean, it's probably his biggest movie, period.
Biggest cult movie. Well, it's not his biggest movie, period. Biggest like cult following movie, probably, maybe, but...
I don't think Samantha Mavis gives a poop about this movie.
Probably not. Don't you swear you.
Egad, I said the S word. I'll change it to poop.
Okay, good.
Now just take that audio that I just said and dub it over what I had just said prior.
John Leguizamo said, this extra, right, got into a fight with Rocky Morton or whatever, and so apparently Rocky Morton then just took hot coffee, splashed it on the extra's face, the extra who's in like all this makeup and stuff, and is like burning up, is like starts screaming or whatever, and it's like, so there was like allegations against Rocky Morton. Rocky Morton has defended himself saying that was not true, that did not happen. He was not close enough to see what happened. What actually happened was the costume did not look dirty enough, and he asked the extra, hey, your costume looks not quite grimy and dirty enough. Do you mind if I put some of this coffee on you? I think it should be fine. And then the actor said, you know what? Yeah, go for it. And then when he splashed the coffee on, it was hotter than he expected, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and get you help." And see, there's mixed stories of what was happening there, but like people getting injured, people drinking, not taking it seriously.
Dennis Hopper.
Lots of fire from the top coming down on them. So really, it was just a mess all the way through, and nobody really seemed like they were happy. The only good thing that seemed to really come out of it was
me. I loved it.
John Leguizamo and Samantha Mathis actually did start dating for a while after the movie, so that was something.
That happens a lot, by the way, in productions.
Yeah.
You have the two characters that are the supposed love interests, and they get a little too in character
This
with
might
that.
have been the movie that actually started and contributed to the lore that Luigi and Daisy are like a thing. Like, they never imply directly in the video games that these characters are in relationships with one another, essentially. Yeah. It's more so, I think Nintendo in recent days has tried to say, oh, Mario and Peach, they're best friends. They're good friends, and they're really close friends. They're not lovers, but they're good I think the same as Luigi and Daisy, but like again, they always kind of pair those two with one another, and that
Nintendo's just cowards.
That started with this movie, you know, it came here. What was your reaction to seeing this movie the first time? Because again, it's bizarre. What did you?
I was 6.
Okay, so you were 6. You were younger than me. Did you have experience playing the games before this?
Yes, very much.
Which games? Do you remember which
Any
ones?
one of the originals. I had the Mario
You had all
All-Stars
the original
cartridge.
Mario games? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had the Mario All-Stars
All-Stars.
cart and I had Mario World. So
Mario World. Okay, so
I had experience with Mario right up until I watched this movie. I was
Okay.
at least 5 or 6 years old.
what did you think of the movie then when you saw it? Did you
I loved it.
You loved it, but
Because
were
I was
you-
a dumb kid.
Were you weirded out by like
No.
any of the weird aesthetics? No. Okay. all
I
right.
questioned it. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Later viewings. The first time I watched it, I was like Mario. But later on, when I was like maybe 7, 8, 9, I'd be like, so what dinosaurs? What?
Yeah, no, I saw it when I was like 10 or 11, maybe 12 even.
I remember at one point when I watched it again with you guys in college, I looked at Dan and I was like, why Yoshi look like that?
It's one of those things where like I saw it and I was just like, this is weird. They're fixated on the dinosaur thing. And you know, I wasn't thinking with the perspective I look at it now where it's like it kind of makes sense, but it was like, again, as someone who was growing up with like, you know, the GameCube and the Wii, and you know, I had all those more recent Mario games where it's just a very established environment and rich world that all kind of looks uniform across all different games.
See,
It's like,
this was coming out at a time
right.
when that established uniformity
it didn't exist.
hadn't happened yet.
And it was like,
it honestly started happening with Mario 3 and World.
that was always the weird thing that bothered me was just was Dennis Hopper just being a guy and not an actual like monster or whatever.
Can we talk about how Spike and Iggy, the second that they get smarter, immediately start hating that he's a fascist dictator? Like, they say it to his face.
Yeah, I mean, they do cut out some of the commentary in this movie about like dictatorships and politics and whatnot.
Those are in the deleted scenes, by the way. Look up the extended cut. It's pretty peak.
When we met two plumbers
Who had an idea?
they showed us the lake.
And the new frontier.
Mario
And Luigi.
They know what's right.
We gotta take a stand and put up a fight.
Well, stop and
think
think
this
this through.
through.
It's time to get rid of
You know who.
There's definitely like a revolution subplot going on where like, yeah, no, it's like once they become smarter, you know, dictatorships, they prey on, you know, the uninformed,
they play on
not very intelligent.
Fascism preys on unintelligence and ignorance.
And then when Koopa uses the de-evolution machine in reverse to try and make him smarter, that's where ultimately that ends up being their downfall, where they start to realize, hey, once they no longer have the upper hand with Mario and Luigi, they're like, hey, if we team up with these guys, we have a chance at actually dethroning him and making things better for the society. You know, the Yoshi, you brought up Yoshi in this movie.
Yoshi is literally just a
you got like a
Velociraptor.
little puppet. I don't know if there are animatronics in him, but like he's like a little Velociraptor, and this came out like a month before, or maybe a week. It was just before Jurassic Park, so this was like the first movie to do a good realistic dinosaur effect, as far as I can tell.
And Yoshi still looks really good.
He still looks really good,
unlike most movies I've seen recently.
Yeah, so I mean, they did innovate in some ways where, like, you know, like they beat Jurassic Park to the punch. Jurassic Park obviously left a bigger impact because it was just a better movie. But, you know.
I mean, the problem is Jurassic Park's Jurassic Park.
I don't think I mentioned, I was also looking up, Arnold Schwarzenegger was considered to play Koopa in this movie before Dennis Hopper.
I want the plumbers! I need them! I need the rock! Where is the rock?
What else?
Oh my god, Daisy! I need you later to open the portal to merge the dimensions.
The soundtrack of this movie is also really good.
Oh
like,
yeah, I can't. Hold on. I need a minute to process Arnold as Koopa.
Okay.
It's like I can't imagine Dennis Hopper's lines. It's just Arnold. Monkey. Yes.
Without that meteorite piece, I will not be able to merge the dimensions.
I cannot merge them. Lady I'm taking mud bath with. I am really attracted to Daisy.
it's all kind of a mess down there. We see like the police station just seems like it's in a pretty bad shape where people.
Yeah, we got one.
Officers are just getting like dragged off of the stand and like
we have
beaten up or
strippers
something.
just there, bottles being broken.
It's an interesting world, at least, where it's like the construction of it all, outside of the fact that it doesn't fit Mario at all, is like it's very well done, very realistic. It looks like a visually interesting set piece for a movie. Like I want to say it was like a cement factory or something that was abandoned. They built inside of a factory and like added like these little areas where like all these like sparks are coming from. They constructed like these like little set pieces and railings and all that stuff. Decorated all the fungus everywhere and stuff.
They
It's
definitely
like,
used a construction site with the dump trucks, and then they superimposed the city, like the actual city itself, in the background to imply a larger scale city. Basically.
Right.
They make the world feel very lived in.
Yeah, it is lived in for sure. And then I like that they even came up with like little lore for it, where it's like they evolved like us, so most of the people just look like normal humans. Some are not quite as evolved as others. Then you've got, to a second degree, you've also got everyone's mostly wearing what looks like leather. There's maybe like some like silk t-shirts, like something like this material or something.
A lot of stuff feels like it's stuff that would be made out of like alligator skin.
Like leather, because there's no mammals here, like no big mammals, so like they don't really have fur or wool all that much or cotton for clothing. So lots of leather, and like you've got like the cars, they're all designed to be like these things that like have like, they're all on like little like, they all connect to like little wiring and rails, and like
they're all electric.
They're all sparking from
electricity.
Electricity because of no fossil fuels. So there's all these like little neat world building stuff in there that's kind of fun.
I think what's really funny is how well thought out the world is.
It's well thought out, but then the movie itself is just kind of like
a mess.
What are we doing? We're just kind of going from one point to another to try and get to the Rock. It basically revolves around them trying to chase down the Rock for the most movie, because like they're all confused and dazed. They get mugged by the old lady, which is probably
really
one of the
funny.
funniest
And then
things.
Big Bertha shows up and mugs the old lady back.
Yeah, Big Bertha, the fish from the games, I guess,
is a buff black woman in the movie.
that's one way to interpret it.
Unironically, is just one of the other best characters in the whole movie.
The name's Mario. I'm your main man. Ramadan, the can of Spain.
Wait, what is she based on?
Big Bertha, the fish.
She's supposed to be the fish.
It's the fish from Mario 3, if I remember correctly.
She's fun. I like her. She doesn't get much to do, but she goes like, I like the dance club scene with Mario and Luigi. I just like seeing them in like, I like seeing Mario and Luigi in like different outfits, because like in the games they're always wearing the overalls. I like seeing them wearing like more casual clothing. I like seeing them in like the little like tuxedos. I like Mario in like the all yellow.
I like
it's like very 90s.
I like that Mario has game. He pulls all the ladies.
Oh yeah, no one can resist the charm of a Mario.
No woman can resist the charm of a Mario.
Well, apparently they can resist the charm of a Luigi.
Well, Luigi kind of just is not very good at talking to women. That's how.
I don't think Daisy's very good at talking to anyone either, so it just ended up working out.
That's how he meets Daisy, is like, like he's like, oh, she's kind of cute,
And then Mario's like, hey, Luigi, come on. And
he's just like, Mario, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to talk to women.
I don't know how to talk to girls, Mario.
And they just bond over the fact that they lost their parents, essentially. So you got like a little love story there that kind of gets them motivated to try and like save her. It's more so, again, Luigi is trying to rescue and get the girl at the end.
Mario has already got the girl.
Mario's too cynical and old. His whole arc is about him learning to believe in the fun and whimsy of life.
How could that possibly happen?
Anything's possible, Mario. You just gotta believe.
Just do it. Come on, just have faith. Jump. You're flying.
In this grungy cyberpunk area.
Yeah, of course.
Mario, you just gotta be more whimsical. Meanwhile, there's a station wagon flying through the air.
They're being assaulted by police, getting like goo dumped on them, and like
they're being
stuffed
called
in the little
plumbers like
cages.
it's a slur.
Oh, what a lovely, imaginative, fun adventure.
You just gotta believe.
You just gotta believe.
You're never gonna believe this.
I believe it.
You do?
I believe.
We didn't talk about the soundtrack of the movie. It's Alan Silvestri. Alan Silvestri. I was screwing up his name. He famously did Back to the Future. He did Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Many years later, he did The Avengers. He's done lots of music in all these big movies that I'll probably have more up on screen that I couldn't think of right now. And I like it. It's got it's a fun little jaunty tune. It's not the Mario music. It's not really taking off of the Mario music.
Right, turn left here.
But you got the.
No, genuinely, that movie has such a good soundtrack.
I like the small little charming horns, and then it gets bigger and brassier at the end when they save the day. There's like a part in the, actually, there's a part in the song where it's the it's like what is that music? It's like, does that have a name? It's like a very famous piece of music. It's very like Italian or whatever. It's like everyone associates it with like, pizza parlors where it's like.
I know what you're talking about.
I said
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, that song. It's like that's
Get it?
used
They're
as like
Italian, even though neither of the actors are.
That's used as like a leitmotif in the movie. It's a very good score. I would say quality-wise, it is up there with like Back to the Future and a lot of that stuff, honestly.
But yeah,
it's underrated. There's also some good other just songs in the soundtrack, like I Would Stop the World for You is pretty good.
The song from Hocus Pocus that plays at the end credits for some reason.
Yeah, there's a song in the end credits called Almost Unreal, I think it's called.
And it literally says Hocus Pocus in it, which means it should have been in that movie, but it wasn't because they didn't use it. But then they were like, "Oh, we can use that here because credits. Who's going to stick around?"
It was written with the intention of being in Hocus Pocus. They didn't use it, and so
they shove it in the Mario movie.
It's just here now, and it's like, oh, gee, you really can't tell where they just keep saying, "I love how you do that." I can't sing the song, I guess. So they just keep saying Hocus Pocus over in the music.
I love how you do.
Don't sing it. No, we can't.
Hocus
It's
Pocus.
copyright. This movie's more interesting to talk about now that there is a new Mario movie that's out, which
was actually garbage.
You think it's garbage?
I think it's great. Oh, no, I love it, but it's garbage. But I love it, but it is garbage.
I mean, it's a very standard and safe kids movie, but
that's the problem. Is it's a plucky, standardized kids movie, and it gives a plot. There's a subplot of Mario being like, "Man, my dad's really disappointed in me. Charles Martinet hates me."
With all the imagination that went into the set design of the original, it is easy to appreciate that one more in the lens of filmmaking nowadays. Where and again, you see them doing all like this crazy action spectacle with the cars. You got like the crazy car chase again, where there's electricity and sparks. There's like that very dangerous looking scene where Mario and Dennis Hopper, they're like running through like the traffic, and there's like sparks falling down. The engines are. It's like, I don't know if those were stunt actors in some of those shots. It's hard to tell, but like it looks like it's really them, and like it's like.
Hoskins, who used to be in a fire-eating act in a circus, says his daredevil background got the best of him while making this film. He often said no to stunt doubles, only to regret it later.
That looks dangerous. You got like the flamethrower shooting the fire. It's like
actual fire, by the way.
All this like dangerous looking stuff. All this like really exciting and invigorating like set pieces and moments. They're on the zip line. Like there's like crazy action set pieces in this movie that like all took like time and ingenuity to like perfect and get right on film. I mean, not that animation is easy by any means, but like, it's like you don't think about it as much. There's like less risk happening. There's less, there's more you can do in animation that you can't do in live action. And so it's just, there's more of like a safe comfort to animation, I would say.
See, the thing is, both movies look great in their own regard.
Yeah.
But like the old one's better.
Well, that's the thing though, as someone who did see the Mario movie and was confused by it aesthetically, seeing the new one where it's just you now have these rich Mario tapestries
it's also
to tap into. You just get, it's so nice to see the Mushroom Kingdom in proper, like just beautifully rendered in a way that it hasn't really been captured in any of the games prior to that point. Like it's so bouncy and light and
alive. And
there's all these like texture to like Bowser's scales or Mario and Luigi's clothing, the Toads' little bouncy hats and stuff.
Both movies have a Bowser.
It's very colorful
too. Both movies have a Bowser that's giving like 120%.
Jack Black is a great Bowser.
Jack Black, he just put his whole heart and soul.
John
into
Goodman
that.
is another one who I could have seen as Bowser or something. That's not John Goodman. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger again.
The other thing I think is really funny is that one movie is really crazy and always will be remembered. The other movie is so painfully safe and it's basically just riddled with references.
Well, I mean...
They put Mario Kart in it.
They do, but that's a big thing, though. That's the Mario universe. I would debate that that's not so much just a little Easter egg.
It just feels shoved in, is my problem.
Well, no, because it's like a big point. They're all going on carts to get to where they need to go.
I know that that's the reason, but it feels like it's there because, like, oh, you know Mario Kart.
I would say
they even play Mario Kart Wii's car selection music.
I would say the bigger issue I have is where they're just doing like random 80s songs for no reason that don't need to be there. That's the thing that felt more like, get it? Song people know and like. It's like, why?
Remember that thing? Yeah, you do.
It's
and
like,
you like that thing.
But I mean, you were saying how the new movie really does just take a lot of elements from the original movie in terms of like the exposition and how the plot is set up and structured or whatever. Like, you know, you want to talk about that?
That's pretty much what it does.
Maybe do you want to talk about that so you have more to say?
I don't know if it's really much to, like, what I said is basically all I could say. It's literally, like, both movies are, the Mario Bros. Are down their luck plumbers. Both movies have the plumbers in a sewer for some reason.
Right.
They both end up falling through a thing. They both follow like Mario follows Luigi into the thing, right?
Right.
But the only difference, like, this is where it splits. Luigi gets sent off somewhere else in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Well, looks like a bottom one, right?
Yeah. This happens in the new movie. They're going to try and solve
a plumbing problem.
Yeah, plumbing problem.
Yeah, there's like, you got like Scapelli blasting the site in the old movie, and then there's like, I don't think they ever explain what's happening, but like, yeah, there's like pipes are bursting below New York or something.
Pipes are bursting below New York, so the Mario Bros go down there because Mario wants to prove himself.
And in both movies, they find this mysterious passageway to another dimension, and it's like, really, that was all kind of like started from they had the cartoon.
But
before
they also did the thing. Yeah, for some reason, it's always they're working on like a plumbing thing,
and then they fall down the
in.
secret work pipe that took them to the Mushroom Kingdom in the intro. Of
there
the
was
cartoon.
there's also the fact that like the ending fight sequence has the Mario Bros going back into our world. And they continue to fight with Koopa. That's just like the ending of 93.
Where 9/11 happens for a brief moment in the Mario world. Well, even then, though, it's like the general plot, too, because it's like, it's not complicated. It's, you know, like in the first movie, it's like, obviously Koopa's already in charge and they got to dethrone him and save the princess. You know, in the new one, it's still Bowser's taking over. He's in the process of...
He's basically already done
And Peach is trying to get Mario and everyone together, and the Donkey Kong and the Kong army to fight up against him. So it's like, it really is taking the same idea and redoing it the same way. So it's like, it's not that far off really, where it's like, this has kind of remained influential to the Mario mythos.
Your warp pipe.
It's a shame our good pal Dan couldn't make it with us. This is where normally if we had skits, we'd come up with some reason for why he's not around with us. He does have a cold. It's unfortunate, but
in the canon universe, Dan is dead.
We'll come back for the Mortal Kombat review where we'll reveal that Dan has been sick because he's been poisoned by a Chinese death cult, and we have to talk about Mortal Kombat to save him and give him the cure.
You've been poisoned by the Chinese death cult.
Oh no!
Now we have to talk about Mario, about Mortal Kombat. Oh no.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat?
More like my soul is dead.